This is VFL Weekly Wrap, the Wildcard weekend. I went to the one game, but first I'll go through the other result. On Sunday, Victoria Park, a bit of an upset. Williamstown knocked off Collingwood by 12 points, 11-15-81 to 9-15-69. Williamstown kicked 3 goals for to 3 behinds in the last quarter. It was a topsy-turvy match. It was close all the way, but Williamstown showed their spirit and knocked Collingwood out. Now, for Williamstown, Jack Toner, he had 23 possessions, 9 tackles, 9 clearances and a goal. Lockie Gallant, he was the difference for Willie. 4 goals too, 17 possessions, 7 marks. For Collingwood, Finn McRae, 24 possessions, 9 clearances. These two teams only met 3 weeks ago at Point Jellybrand and Collingwood got him. But this time, Willie got him at Vic Park. The match that mattered. Well, that loss last week by Collingwood to Port Melbourne has cost them dearly. They should have been in that top 6. Now they got knocked out. Head-to-head, Williamstown lead Collingwood 20-12. Well, Williamstown were do or die last week. They won that, and they've done it again. Now, the game I went to was on Saturday between Richmond and GWS at Northport Oval. Richmond won by 18 points, 17-14, 116 to 14-14, 98. Richmond kicked 4 goals for to 2 goals 1 in the first quarter. GWS won the second quarter, 3 goals 4 to 1-3. This is where it was 1 in the third quarter. Richmond 7 goals 5 to 3 goals 3. Last quarter was a shootout. GWS 6 goals 6 to 5-2. The major goal kickers for Richmond, Jacob Kaczynski kicked 4. Mohamed Yassin and Liam Fawcett each kicked 3. Steely Green and Nick Gurulami kicked 2 each. For the Giants, Phoenix Gothard kicked 4. Oliver Hannaford and Hugo Burks each kicked 2. The possessions for Richmond, Harry Scott, 28 possessions, 5 clearances. Caleb Smith, 24 possessions, 8 marks. For the Giants, Josh Fay, 36 possessions, 9 marks. Harrison Oliver, 31 possessions, 7 marks. Brent Daniels, 29 possessions, 9 clearances. GWS had 32 more possessions, 14 more inside 50s, 26 more hit-outs, 11 more clearances. They smashed the free kick count, 30-16. It was a beautiful day on Saturday. There was a bit of a wind, but it was probably blowing more towards a Fred Cook end, but it was more cross ground. Now, the ground was in good condition, but parts of it resembled the beach. So they still haven't got that ground right, but the actual hardness or softness, it was actually good. Some parts of the ground was pretty good. Very nice day on Saturday. The only disappointing thing was the crowd. It was a pathetic crowd. Mate, they would have been lucky to get 1,000 people. I don't think there would have been 1,000 people there. It was such a disappointing crowd. It was an excellent game of football. High stakes football, obviously. Attacking. Both sides went for it. Evenly matched. It was a great spectacle. And the better team won. Richmond bolted out quickly. They kicked the first 4 goals of the game. And probably fought by how much? But from that point on to half-time, GWS kicked 5 of the last 6 goals and made it a good contest. They only trailed by 2 points at half-time. Now, Richmond, it was neck and neck in the third quarter, but Richmond then kicked the last 4 goals of the third quarter for a 28-point lead at three-quarter time. And I think that was the difference there. The last quarter was a shootout. GWS kicked the first goal last quarter, and then Richmond kicked 4 goals in 8 minutes to just kill the game. They led by 46 points at that stage. But then in the next 9 minutes, GWS kicked 3 goals 5 to halve the deficit. So they had 8 shots in those 9 minutes, but the game was gone by then. As I said, it was an excellent game of football. Beautiful conditions. Can't ask much for more. Richmond beaten GWS twice this year now. And GWS still haven't beaten Richmond in the VFL. Richmond lead head-to-head 4-0. This is the third year in the Wildcard. And Richmond have been involved every year in the Wildcard. And they finally got the monkey off their back for that win. It was GWS's first finals appearance in the VFL. Mate, they just limped over the line. They won their first 6, but as I expected, they just dropped off. They only won 4 of their next 12 to sneak into 9th with a high percentage and then lost this game. So, Richmond far too good. As I said, they're a dangerous team. And I'm not going to write them off yet. Obviously, there were just 2 games. Obviously, you don't need to go through the lateral goal kickers. Who cares? Now the draws just come out for this week coming. No surprises. All the games are on Saturday, so you can only attend 1 game. Now, go in order. The first game is at 12:05 in Ipswich. Brisbane play Richmond. That's elimination final. That should be an interesting game. Brisbane well rested, but Richmond, don't write them off. There's 2 games at 12:35. They're both qualifying finals, the top 4. Box Hill against Southport at Box Hill City Oval should be interesting. Both teams aren't in great form. You think Box Hill might just win that, but Southport are a dangerous team. The fact that it's a big ground too, so it'll actually suit Southport, so it should be very interesting that. Well, whoever wins that game will host the prelim, so it's a big game. The loser will host the semi-final, so it's a massive game, obviously. Now, the game I'm going to go to, the one that's closest to me, I guess, the Whitten Oval, 12:35. Footscray play Frankston. This is a very interesting game. Frankston in great form, but they have never beaten Footscray head-to-head. Footscray's already beaten them this year. Footscray are the top team. Now that the AFL team is basically out, a handful of those players will come back into that team, make them stronger. They have to be premiership favourites now. And I just can't see how Frankston, they might stay with them for a half, but I think Footscray could be a belting in that game. But that is a very interesting game. Hopefully the weather's good. It should be a good crowd. I'll be going to that one. And the last game, strange time here, 2:10. Casey against Williamstown at Casey Fields. Gee, Casey in great form. Williamstown just riding wave of emotion. That will be an interesting game. But I just can't see after the last 2 weeks that Williamstown have had that they're going to get up for this game. Casey, completely different team. Well rested, playing away from home in the middle of nowhere. Just a dead atmosphere at Casey Fields. I don't think we'll get a good crowd there at all. I don't think there'll be any Springvale or Melbourne supporters watching that. They wouldn't care less. There'll probably be more Willie fans there, to be honest. They'll make the trek. They're loyal to their club. So they're the 4 games. It's going to be a short episode, a video. And also, the Northern Bullants, they've officially changed their name back to Preston. And I must say, it's about bloody time as well. Northern name did nothing for them. They're back to Preston Bullants. But they've actually made a plea. They've actually asked the AFL for a handout now. They are in trouble, financially in trouble. And they're asking people to put their hands in their pockets for them. I'm actually surprised they haven't offered up membership for next year. So they're 50-50 Preston right now, playing next year. We already know that Sandringham and St Kilda are going to be separate teams. That makes it 22. But if Preston pull out, it's going to go back down to 21 and we're going to have ridiculous buys again. Tasmania's not going to be an actual comp. They're going to play practice games, I think. So Preston are in financial trouble. So we'll see how that pans out. Should be interesting first week of the actual finals. See you next time.